Hi, I'm Cynthia Robertson, and if you have not met me before, uh, being new to our group, welcome. We're so happy to have you. So, you want to paint an angel. We're going to paint a beautiful angel today, and I hope you enjoy painting yours as much as I have enjoyed painting this one myself. We're going to paint this one on an 8 by 10 simply because that is the largest size I can get in my boxes to ship out. But I'm also going to include in your boxes and for um, the Art Treasure Painting Crew a, a tracer for a 10 by 20. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we've done, as most of y'all already know, is you spray your canvas and you let it dry so that it's nice and stiff. That is a very, very important part of doing this. So the colors that I'm going to use on this is a white, a blue, and another color. So hang on. The colors that we're going to use is a white, Folk Art Silver Marlin, and Folk Art Camel. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, this is an old one, so I'm just going to use it. It's going to be just fine. I'm going to add white to the bottom. Okay. Then I'm going to add the Silver Marlin. Welcome to this fabulous little piece that we're going to be doing. I'm Cynthia Robertson, in case you have not met me yet. We do have some new members. And so what we're going to do is we're going to first paint the base of our canvas, which is an 8 by 10. Now, there's going to be a tracer that you will have, and that is for the 8 by 10. But I've also been asked if I would do a tracer for the 10 by 20. So I will include that in your box if you are the Art Treasure chest. so that you have that as well in case you want to do a 10 by 20 canvas like I did. So let's go on and get started. This is going to be so much fun. I hope you enjoy it. So we're going to do the background first. And I'm going to do it a little differently than the one that was on the 10 by 20. Just the color. So here we go. Okay, so I have added some white paint on here. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to do some blue, and the color that I picked Okay, so I put the white paint on there, and then this is Sky Blue by Folk Art. I just love this color. So what I do is I lay it, put it right on the top. And as you can see, I got to get some more. Okay. And then I'm going to take Linen by Folk Art, and I'm going to lay that on top here, but not as much, just a little bit. All right, we're using a palette knife. You can use whichever one you want. I just grabbed this one. This one would do just fine. If you're getting a box, you got a set of the palette knives, and you can pick whichever one you want to use. So I'm going to just put it down in there. I want to make sure I've got white and blue, and this is what I'm doing. I'll try to get more blue in here. And this is really going to look like a sky when we get through. So you see, I'm just kind of going back and forth. Try not to get a load of the linen on your palette knife. You just want a little. So I'm over here grabbing up the blue and the white to give it contrast. And I want it to also have, you know, those the movement in there. So when you do that, when you get to those edges, you are going to need to come back over to the other, you know, keeping it. And don't go hard. Don't push down hard on this either. Just lightly you know, just put this on, just very lightly. Because you want those different movements. Very lightly. I'm just barely touching this canvas. Okay. I have included in your box a sponge. And so I want you to use it, but then when you get through using it, I want you to wash it out real good. Use a little soap to really squeeze it so that you really work that color out of your sponge, and then you want to let it dry completely because we're going to use this again. So I'm going to come in, and I've grabbed some on my brush, my sponge brush, and I'm going to come over here. Let's see if you can see this. And I'm just doing my, I'm going to have to go back and fix that. But I'm just covering my sides with it. And you don't have to worry about making sure you've got that, that definition. But you can see what I just did here. So I'm going to go back into my blue and my white. And I'm going to start right here again. And I'm just barely touching it. Barely. Okay. Get some more. Oops, just stuck my thumb in that. And then I'm going to pick it up again. And I'm going to just add the color. And you want to make sure you get those seams all covered up and right there at the very bottom of your canvas too, because when you hang it up you don't want to see white. Okay. So what we'll do now is we're going to let it dry. You can take a blow dryer to it and go ahead and dry it, and then we'll put the angel on. But that background is just luscious. Luscious. And you want to also, when this dries, look at your sides real good and see if they need another coat on it. So I am going to get the blow dryer out and see what I can do here so that I can go on and get the tracer on. My hands. Let's see here. I want to make sure we've got those edges. Okay. All right, so I'm going to blow dry this. Okay, so, excuse me, I have used a um, projector to trace mine on with. You will have tracing paper and the um, tracer in your box if you are receiving a box. Try so hard to not get your hand where it does any of this, because it will get black all over your canvas. So if you have to, take something, a paper towel or something, and lay it, you know, where your hand is going to be to try to protect it. I always try to stay in the inside and carefully do mine. So next we are going to paint her, and the colors that we're going to use for her skin, we're going to use the linen, and we're going to use some white. Let me see here. Linen and some white, and we're going to use a darker color. Let's see. So we have the angel traced on, and now the colors that we're going to use for her skin. This is the linen by Folk Art. We're going to add a little bit of white. Well, we might as well put white in there because we're going to be using it anyway. And then we're going to add a little bit of camel. Just a little bit. Okay. So we're going to start out with, let me get a brush that hasn't been used. Okay, this is the same size of the one that comes in the box. I just can't find the others. All right, so let's take some of the linen, and I'm going to bring you down much closer. Let me get something to raise this up even a little bit more. Okay, so we're going to paint her face. Now, I had done some zigzags. This is going to be her hair, but I want you to not pay attention to that. I want you to just go on and follow the line. Let me get a little bit more. And I usually do a little bit more than half. And then I'm just going to leave that on my brush, and I'm going to come over here, and I'm getting a little bit on my brush, and I'm going to come over here, and I'm just turning it to the side. my brush to the side, and I'm just bringing that in like that, and then I'm wanting to smooth that in. So you want to make sure that the linen is still wet when you do this. And I need a little bit more on this side. Okay, so I'm just going to come back again. Got a seam there for some reason. Let me see if I can get rid of that seam. Okay, it's all in blending. Okay, then we need to do her neck. So I'm going to again get the linen out, and I'm going to come right here and follow that line to her collarbone. And you see that? Sure hope so. Then I'm going to get a little bit of the camel, and we're going to add that. Making sure we're blending. We're going to have hair coming over this, so kind of looks funny right now, but it will be just fine. Then we need to do her arms. So we're going to come over here. And we're just going to get right on that edge. And put that in, and then the shadow from her arm is going to be the camel again. So I'm going on my chisel again, making sure that everything blends. Okay, now I'm just going to put some of the linen back on that side, and I'm just coming up. I don't want you to see a definite line. I want it to just casually come in there. Okay, so now let's take the camel and we'll put it on this side, just like this. And then I'm going to take the linen. I'm going to have to turn this sideways because of me being left-handed. But you can see this. So we just want to make sure we get that arm completely in there. And then I'm just kind of going back over it because we don't want those seams to show. Okay. This really does look weird, doesn't it? Okay. I think we need to do the hair so that we know what we've got. I need some water. Let's see. So I'm going to rinse out my brush. Lord, I got paint all over me. All right. And here's where you can really have fun. You can actually take your, well, let's do the face and then we'll come back and do the dress. So when I do the hair, I always paint it brown first. So let me get the brown. So this is Deco Art dark chocolate. And you don't need but a few drops of it. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to just kind of come in. You don't have to fill this in. And put a little bit down on her forehead. Coming up here. I'm just dabbing. On here with very little paint. Very, very little paint on my brush. So as you see, I'm just tap, tap, tapping. Okay. So now I'm going to use Buttercream by Folk Art. Doesn't take much of that either. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to my liner brush. Make sure that if it's stiff, you get the stiffness out of it. And I'm going to come here and I'm going to start just lightly do little lines, little circles, but you want to be able to still see a little bit of the brown in here. And you want to come outside of the brown also and make some movement. We're making her hair loose is what we're doing. Okay, I'm going to wipe off my brush, and then you have some gold. This is, where'd it go? Here it is. This is Folk Art Multi-Surface 14 karat gold. You can use any gold you have. You can use the Deco Art. It does not matter. This just happens to be what I've got. So I'm going to put a little bit of, a whole lot. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my brush in there, and then I'm going to turn it. I'm turning that brush. Can you see that? I'm just giving a little turn, and now I want to put a few little touches of gold in here, especially toward the crown of her head. And I'm making little half circles here and there. Just making sure we have color. This is a real simple piece to paint, but it's so pretty and so much fun. Okay, I'm gonna wash this because there's something I need to do to her neck. So I'm gonna come back in here. I'm gonna get, here I am getting gold on me. I'm gonna get just a real simple bit. That's too light. Let me get a little bit more. There. So I've got a little bit of brown on here, and what I want to do is I want to give her a shadow like underneath her neck. Then I'm going to wipe my brush, and I'm going to come back, and I'm just kind of patting and pulling. I'm giving a little pull, and I'm patting. If you can see that. So now we can tell where the definition went in her hair. So I'm going to come back to gold here for a second because I want to get some gold around her face a little bit. So pretty. I'm going to put a little bit right here. Okay. We want to see all three colors. All right, so we're actually right now kind of through with the liner brush. We're going to use it again at the end. So rinse your brush, and then now is where it might be fun. So I'm going to take, let me see, I'm going to take a palette knife. And I'm going to put it in here, and I'm just going to come in like right there. So you can do it this way if you'd like, or you can use your brush. So let's try it with the brush and see which way you like it best. So I'm going back to my that out of the way, out of my brush. And you can see I've got a pretty good little, oh, I've got to bring you down. Hold on. Let me do this. Take these out from under me. Okay, so now I'm just gonna oh gosh, I've got color in that. How did that happen? Gotta make sure you got them good and clean. So you might want to, when you use that brown, take it to the sink and wash your brush with a little bit of soap. Let's see. Okay, we're good. So I'm just really, as you can see, I'm just kind of plopping this on. And I want to get up here because we're going to make her a collar. Now you don't have to make her a collar, but if you choose to, go right ahead. So I'm not like bringing it all the way down. I'm leaving it very loose and flowy. So this is like I'm just making a mess, you know. You can be real neat with it if you want. I'll give you permission. But I just kind of like that, you know, almost an abstract kind of look. So I've got a lot of paint right there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is we still have some blue in here. So I'm going to grab that blue that we had and I'm going to put it right there. Okay, let's see how this turns out. You could have done this prior to putting her hair in. Okay, so I'm going to wipe my brush, get back into the white, and I'm going to wipe it again after I put that white paint on it. That helps get rid of the other colors. And I'm going to just come back and try to make a nice little scoop here. Okay, and I think I will just let's see what it looks like if I put a little bit. Not really, didn't make a difference. So I'll just leave it the way it is. Alright, so now let's do our wings. The fun part. So you don't really have to blop this on, because by the time you put the glass on, you know, you're not going to see it anyway. But you don't really want to see that blue through there either. So you may or may not have to do a second coat. Let you see the wings. Okay. So I'm just copying away, just getting it on there. But like I said, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to put glass on it anyway. Okay, let's get this other one. I should have done it first. I'm going to have to turn her around. Sorry about that. But being I'm left-handed, I find if I rest my hand on the canvas, I can make a smooth line. So just getting that on there. And then once we do this, we'll dry it so that we can do our next step. So as you see, this is pretty simple. There's not much to it, but it just really makes a statement. I've had more people ask me about the angel since I did that other one. And I have it down in my shop at Smith's Antiques in, I'll call it Destin, but it's really Miramar Beach. Miramar Beach and Destin. Well, Miramar Beach used to be Destin. And then somebody got this wild, crazy idea to change the name. But whoever thought of that, of Miramar Beach, needs to be hit, because there is a Miramar down next to Miami. There's not a Miramar Beach there. So why in the world they would name this Miramar Beach is beyond me. Okay. So here we are. Let me get my blow dryer Alrighty. I think when I put the glass on this, it's going to be just fine. I don't think I need to add any more of the white to it. So I'm going to rinse my brush. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure this is nice and, you know, flat. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put it straight down into the gold. If you can see, there's just hardly anything on there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just different places. I'm going to come in and I'm going to try to do this way. Why I started on the left is beyond me. Okay, we're just giving her a hint. We're not loading it up. Just touches. You could also use your liner brush if you chose to. I just kind of like going up and down on the chisel. Just barely touching it. To me, this makes it look so pretty. And when that glass goes on it, you'll see. Now, we don't want to load it with glass. There's no need to load it with glass. The other one I did, I used a black pen and put just a few little touches. But I don't know, I just like, you know, some lines like that. So can you see those lines? It just really makes it stand out. Okay, so now we need to do the other side. So I'm on the chisel again. And I'm coming all the way across. And I keep going back into my paint and getting more on it, keeping my brush real tight here. And then we're going to just kind of just draw this down. And I'm going to come up here. Okay. Now I'm going to take this gold. Let me try it with my liner pen. It might be easier. I'm going to take the gold, get some on that brush, make sure it's really pointed. Can you see that? Okay. And I'm going to, my hands want to shake. I had coffee this morning. I should never have coffee when I know I'm going to paint. Oh, that looks pretty. That really looks pretty. And I think I'll put some here on her, right here on her shoulder, where the wings are. Okay. All right. Then I'm going to just come in with some gobbledygooks, just laying those in just like that. I think that's pretty, don't you? So I'm going to do a little few right here, kind of give her some little knottlers there where you can tell, you know. Okay. So now, oh, we need to do the halo. So you want to get plenty of paint on here and make sure. So I come kind of in a little arch there, like that. More paint. I'm going to do it again. Because we definitely want to be able to see it. And then you want to do like almost a V on both sides and bring it together. More gold. And there you have it. Doesn't she look pretty? I think she looks so pretty. So let me get my gold pen. Where is it? You always want to sign your work. That's a copper. Let me get a gold. Here we are. These are, well, this one is a Uniball. I got these at Michael's, so I'm going to sign it. So don't forget to sign your work for sure. Now we need to blow dry it again because we've got to get that paint dry before we start putting glass on it. So bear with me. Standing here looking at this, and I think that I need a little more paint on these arms. So I'm going to go into the linen. And I'm just going to add a little bit more linen. And this one too. Because it did not blend in with that other color. I overlooked that. And we want it to be pretty. So I added some camel there. Okay, that is much better. Much better. Okay. Let me shoot that again with a blow dryer. And I always put something inside of here because when you put glass on it, it'll weight it down a little bit, and you do not want it to weight down. So I have styrofoam. This is my 16 somewhere. Let's see what I got. Okay, so you just need to find something that will hold that, because you want that stiff. You don't want any looseness in it when you go to put your glass and resin on. And so what I also do is I take little caps and I put them, you just have to find what works for you. And I also love using these medicine cups. I need to bring you up. Come on. I like using these medicine cups to put under, because they're really easy to help level. And the most important thing that you have to do, you just have to do it, is you have got to make sure that your piece is perfectly level. Perfectly. Because that's nice and stiff. That's good. Because you don't want it to not be level and start running to the side, and then you've got one side that doesn't have resin on it. So get you a level and make sure this is level. So as you can see, this is not level and that is not level. So we're going to start this way first. We want to get that level. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to pick up another medicine cup. And I'm going to put another one right there. Okay, we are level. Now we got to make sure we're level this way. And we're not. We need two thin ones. Hang on. This is, you know, you just have to play with it to get it right. That is perfectly level. Perfectly level. All right, now let me verify this again. This needs something under it. And this may be too much. Let me just see here. Too much. Just back here. So I'm going to take my little palette knife here. Put one under here again. Okay, we are perfectly level. We are level, so we're good to go. So we will put the glass on it and the resin, and then we will be done. We are good and dry now. It really turned out pretty. I really like it. So what we're going to do is we're going to put glass on the wings, and instead of using the tiny glass that you normally see me put in, I'm going to use this kind of, I guess it's 1/4 inch glue. So I want to come and put glue on here so that the glass will stay in place. So I'm just coming around these places where it'll all stay together and not start going out and flying out. And then right up against her arm. Okay, so we got that one. So if you have a box, this does not come in your box. But you can get it at Office Depot, no, Hobby Lobby, or Michael's. Silly me. Where did that come from? I have no idea. Okay. And then I'm actually going to put some in here, but I don't need to put glue in there. Alright, so I'm going to start over here on the right one. And when I'm putting down glass, I don't want to make it, you know, full with glass in it. I just want it to just be there. So what I'm going to do always is I take the stir stick, and a lot of times I will put it, let me just put that one right there. I will put it outside a lot of times and push it back in so that my glass is right up against the edge. So I'm gonna, and a lot of times you want to look and see if you see a different one that looks like this would be just perfect for that location, which that is what I'm thinking about this one. So put that in. So I'm pushing again. You really, really and truly want to make sure that you do not get outside of that gold liner. Because if you do, and you get your resin on, and you're outside that line, when you look at it, that will be the very first thing that you will always see. It never fails. It's like when you go out and you buy a new car, all of a sudden you see that same make and model. So, just everywhere. It's like unbelievable. Just unbelievable. So just make sure, like right there, that one is sort of out. So I'm going to push it back in. And make sure that these are where they're supposed to be. I do not like to take them and place them. Like, I don't want to come in and go, all right, that one goes there, and this one goes here, and this one goes here. I don't do that. I don't like that look. I like the loose look, but I don't want it piled high either, because you want to be able to see what's under the glass. I've got some big ones here, and I'm trying to not use them, so that's why I'm just kind of, you know, going like this on some of the areas, even though it looks like I'm doing what I just said I don't do. So, like this one, this piece right here would be perfect right there. And then if I can find another, oh, here's another one that's small. So I'm going to slide that in right there. So, you know, sometimes they're like little jigsaw puzzles. Yeah, I would give it a real look over when I'm doing this, because it just has made me sick when I see something that's outside the lines. And when I've gone and taught art classes in, you know, like a store or something, and I'll sit there and I explain to them and tell them why there's always one or two, they're going to do it anyway. And it's like, okay, I explained it to you. You obviously didn't believe me, so you're going to find out for yourself. Okay, now that one, I need tweezers. This one is too big, so I'm going to try this one on here. And see, that one is out of its little place. So that's why the glue is so important. And if I come across a little teeny weeny piece like this one, I'm going to slide it in over here, there. Okay, so we've got that one done. Now let's do this side. I just find it easier if you do it this way. This looks like a good pointed one, so I'll just put it right here. Okay. Turn this one around and get my little tweezers here again. That one out of the way. it over here. There, got that in. And let's see what I can do here. Again, this comes in handy when you're trying to make sure you're not like going over the arms or out into an area you're not supposed to be in, like that one. And it needs to be one right here. So get that in, but not on the arm. Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. I think I've got probably a little too much glass. So I'm going to just put some glass. Get this out of the way. So use the tweezers to do it. So when I did the other one, I did this. I just added a little glass and I let it just kind of be loose. Like that. And that came out just fine. So I think, let me look, I think I see one that needs something. That's too big. Here we go. So I'm going to slide that in right there. So just look around, make sure you've got everything in here. And then there's one that needs to be right here. I'm going to push that one in with my tweezers. Okay, I think that's it. So now after you have put glass on, you always need to come back and brush your canvas, because you don't want to have any little dust or glass little stuff showing up. I think that's probably too big a brush for me to be using. So I'm going to come right here and make sure that's where it's supposed to be. I think she's gorgeous. I just think she's absolutely gorgeous. And I think if I were to put glass around here, it would just be too heavy. I think it's just perfect the way it is. Okay, so this will take less than 2 ounces. Okay, so I ended up going on and putting 2 ounces in, and when you put it in, you want to stir around the, the very edges and the bottom, and you don't want to whip it. You want to stir it slowly, and so that you don't get a whole bunch of bubbles in it. So if you got a box, you'll have the stirrer and this stick and the gloves also. You definitely want to make sure you have gloves on. And a protective cover on whatever table that you're using. And then I don't pour it on, I drizzle. Drizzle, drizzle. You don't need to flood it. But you do want to make sure that you get the resin all over the entire canvas with the ladle, or the stir stick rather. Where did I come up with ladle? But you always want to do your glass first, because resin will start, coming out, and that way you don't necessarily need a whole bunch extra. Oh, this is going to be beautiful. No doubt. No doubt. Need to move that paint. And if you have your canvas level, your resin won't run. But you got to really watch it. So when you get through and you have fired it, then you want to look at it in about 5 minutes, maybe even less than that, and see if it's running off the sides. And if it is, you know that you're really not level. So then you got to make some adjustments. And I've had to do that myself. For some reason I'd knock it or something, I hit it the wrong way. And then it takes it right out of being totally level. And you don't want to put it on thin, but you don't want it thick either. Okay, so now I'm going to look at it from all angles. I kind of get down, try to get eye level with it, and I start looking to see if I've missed anything or not. And see right there, I didn't have that. Didn't have that one done. Okay, I still have some, and that will be to do the sides with. So I'm going to wipe my hands. And get out my torch. I get mine right here. It's a Euro kitchen torch. It's a creme brulee torch. You want to stay 6 inches away because you don't want to burn your canvas, and you want to go really fast when you're doing this. So I go crossways like this, and then I come back and I go this way. And if you see any bubbles, don't stay in that same spot because you will burn your canvas. Okay, so remember when I said wash your sponge brush and let it dry? The reason is because I have found it is so much easier to take the resin and start putting it on, and I try to go with a very light touch, so I end up having to you know, rub back and forth a fair amount. So I'm kind of bringing that resin up on those edges. And as far as a protective cover, I would recommend going to the Dollar Tree and picking you up a shower curtain. Maybe one for the floor, as well as one for the table. Oh, this is just so beautiful. What do you think? Can you see that? Well, that reflection. I'm going to turn off the lights when I get through with this so that you can see it. And then at the end of the video, it will be there again. So I want to make sure I have plenty of resin on those edges. Okay, so put some on this side. I'm kind of guessing what I'm doing here, but I'll check it. Make sure I've got it. Okay, I have probably 1/4 of an ounce left. So if you got a box, you have 2 ounces in yours. Okay, I'm going to torch this again. Okay, now that stir stick that you used to stir your resin with, I want you to wipe it off with a paper towel, and then get you a paper towel. And so I fold it in half like that, and then I come back and I lay it on there and I roll it. Okay, so I've done one roll. I'm going to come back and I'm going to lightly go down that one. I'm going to take it, give it another turn, and I'm going to do it again. And then keep turning, do it again, and then I come over here, okay, I'm going to do it again. And hopefully you won't have it running. Turn it again. Okay, so I'm just going to do this one more time. Okay, so now I'm going to take whatever you've got. If you have a shoe box, well, a shoe box won't do it, but if you have one of those boot boxes, I guess, or a regular box, but you want to really make sure it's clean. You want to cover it. So first, before I do that, let me show you. So that way you get a better idea. She is just beautiful. And if you see little dots and things, and you're going, oh, there's those little dots. If you will get a stir stick, and you can come in and you'll be able to pull them up. Okay, I'm not seeing it run, which is a good thing. That is a good thing. So I'm going to get my box. Now I want you to set your timer for about 5 minutes and come back and look at it, and then if you need to wipe it again, wipe it. And then if you're doing okay and it's not like pouring out, I guess is the best way to say, set your timer for 50 minutes. And then come back and make sure everything is okay. Leave the box lid on overnight. It takes 12 hours for it to harden, but it's a soft hard. It's not a hard hard. So if you were going to ship it, let's say, to someone as a gift, you want to wait 72 hours before you even attempt to ship this, because when you wrap it up, you don't want anything sticking to it. So that's my advice to you. So I have one of those. I get them at Target. I gotta wipe this. This had glitter in it. Make make sure that your box is clean. And make sure you sign your canvas. So here we go. Just going to put that over it. And I'll set my timer and I'll come back out and look at it in about 5 minutes. And if it's doing good, I'll look again in 50 minutes and then I can stop looking. So I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I have. It's one of my favorite things to paint is an angel. So I can't wait to see yours. So make sure you post it. Post it on your personal page and tag Unforgettable Glass Act so that everybody can see it. So thank you so much. Love from the beach. Love y'all. Take care.